Apparently we are live.
Hello, everyone. Looks like we are. Welcome to the completely smooth and problemless first attempt at doing one of these casual races on this channel. Today we have a match in Tetris, NES Tetris. Are we actually starting? No. NES Tetris, as you can see, between Octavia Sweets on the left and CurtsNewBrand on the right. Are we having audio? There. I can hear Kurt. I cannot yet hear Octavia. But anyway, this should be somewhat exciting because our two runners, racers, opponents are not specialists in this kind of challenge here. What qualifies them for playing Tetris is that they're both old. Old people know how to play Tetris, of course. I know that Octavia has been around passively at very least in classic Tetris streams. I'm not sure how much practice any of the two have.
It seems like they've been practicing a bit before, but I think apart from that, they are quite new to the game as of playing it.
Yeah, I mean Tetris is one of those games, if we try to generalize it, that you don't just practice and you're good at it. That's just something. Pattern recognition is one thing that just develops over a long time.
Yes, definitely. So, because of that, I think it will be a very interesting race for it, for that reason. And I'm
Yeah,
quite excited for it.
True. About the format, I think we're still on the best of 5 format, and each round will be best first to 100 lines. Our racers can choose their starting level, whatever they're comfortable with. And I think we are off. This looks like
Yes, they started.
Like an actual attempt now. So we will see what kind of strategies both of the racers will deploy here.
Yes, it looks like some very sensible stacking to begin with. I'm quite impressed with the start.
Both start on level 0, so they're gonna play it safe for starters, which I think is a good idea. If you're not too experienced, playing it slow is usually the best idea you can have here. Also, Kurt is stacking more conservatively. We can already see that. Octavia is already building for Tetrises, which is a not too risky choice at level 0. You can correct a lot. The pieces will drop very slowly, so you have lots and lots of time to correct your mistakes.
Yes, and of course, score is not the aim of this format, but it's still smart to go for Tetrises, because the time it takes to clear one line or it takes to clear 4 lines takes the same amount. So it is quicker to go for as many lines per clear as possible.
Yep. See, Octavia is already a little bit in trouble with her aggressive stacking right from the get-go. She has to start stacking down here before she gets into too much trouble, because the downside of playing at this low speed, the overall time will be rather high. So if you just spend so much time and then fail, you have to start over. And it's something you might not be able to recover from in this format. Kurt is stacking well right now. He's focusing on opening his well here. Very good pieces for that.
Oh, and a misstep for Octavia, but she manages to get by it fairly well.
Octavia is not in. I mean, you don't want to see those like alternating holes in your stack, because it means that you only can clear line by line. You can't just open it up and burn it down the way Kurt was able to do it.
Yes, definitely.
So we see Octavia, she's dependent on getting longer pieces. J, L, or the I piece. Got an I there, but just not the right J or L.
And we see that, of course, in the line screws as well, where Kurt has built up a quite impressive lead.
Yeah. Also meaning that it gets a little bit faster now for Kurt.
Yes, and it's interesting to see how the runners manage that.
Honestly, I don't see Octavia stacking this one down. This looks like we might see a reset by Octavia, but no, let's not talk too soon. Maybe she has something up her sleeve. Oh. That L is bad news.
Yeah.
Nope, she won't. No. Okay, starting over. Almost 4 minutes in. This can still even out pretty quickly if Kurt runs into trouble, but he's been so conservative. <clears throat> 40 lines now for Kurt, meaning he reaches level 4. Tiny bit faster, still in very comfortable territory, I would say, in terms of speed.
Yes, this should be very well manageable for those guys.
What would you think will be the threshold where they get into trouble in terms of just speed?
I think for a starter, it's already level 7, 8, and 9 can be quite tricky, especially if you have issues recognizing right away where you wanna put your pieces.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
And then when you're thinking where you want to put it, it's already down, and you have to make a decision. And then one misdrop can just be a lot of trouble.
Yeah, that's usually a lot of like mental back and forth, where you think, oh, I know exactly where I want to put that, and then you see where the actual best place is. And especially if you're new to Tetris, or just don't have a lot of experience, that can really throw you off, because then you start fumbling, and sometimes you're not exactly sure which button turns the piece in what direction. If you're lacking in experience, and then everything can go pretty like dramatic very quickly. The sped up music doesn't really help. As you can see in this version of the game, if you reach the top of the screen, the music gets faster and faster, which can be very stressful.
Yes, building up on the tension.
Octavia in the same kind of trouble as before. She's very, very line dependent here. She needs
a couple of lines.
Pretty much 4 lines to stack all the way down. And just as the line comes, she has to fill in that gap with another piece. That is good pieces now. No, she missed that. She could have opened up the well. It's one of those things that sometimes you just don't see it if you don't have that Tetris brain.
Yeah, if you haven't played 100 of games already.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Kurt is sailing very smoothly.
Yeah, the difference between Kurt and Octavia so far is that while Octavia has to reset that one again, the big difference is that Kurt is very conservative. If he finds a piece that doesn't fit his stack, he just tries to burn the entire stack down. To not get into that kind of trouble that Octavia ran into 2 times already now.
Yes, definitely. I can see that.
But maybe let's see. Maybe Octavia learns while playing. Maybe we will see a different approach. Maybe she just wanted to... As I said, I think she has, in theory, a little bit more experience than Kurt.
Oh,
So maybe
good
she was
little-
trying to take advantage of that by just being a little bit more daring.
Yeah, it's interesting to see if she will change her approach or if she will stick with what she did before. Kurt's already on 84 lines, closing to the 100 mark, which they are aiming for.
Yeah, I think this round is probably gonna be done unless an accident happens to Kurt, which I'm not expecting the way he plays. But maybe the speed is a thing. Maybe the speed is a factor. As you said, we're at level 9 now, and exactly what you predicted. Kurt is having some speed problems. This could be interesting. What happens to the conservative play? Yeah, you see Kurt turning the pieces until just before they drop.
It looks like he's only using one way to turn them.
Yeah, you see a lot of triple flips. 96, he needs... I hope I'm not ahead or anything, but 4 more lines. And he's getting the pieces. Oh, no. No, not, please don't. Not now.
Only
Not
3
this
more lines.
deep in. Yeah, he needs 3 more. He's not gonna get them. He's not gonna get them. No,
Oh, that is such a huge heartbreak.
And we are back to the drawing board. the race is on.
Kurt has to restart for the first round. What's the first round we're having right now?
Don't be discouraged, Kurt. This is still kind of what we were expecting, but of course it's kind of disappointing, failing 3 lines before the end. But that was quite a speed up from level 8 to 9.
Yeah,
that is
level 9
substantial.
It's very tricky when you just start in the game. And maybe an experienced player will say it is very slow when you're just starting. I can assure you it is not.
Yeah, I mean there are different levels of experience, and just dealing with the speed is one entire thing that you just have to get used to over time. As I said earlier, just knowing what button press turns the piece into the orientation that you want is a whole another factor. It takes a long time before that becomes second nature, that you just don't even have to think about what you have to press to make the piece do what you want. But yeah, back to the race. Octavia still doesn't seem to have changed her strategy. She's going for that right well for the Tetris. She doesn't want to settle for anything else but the Tetrises.
Yeah, well, maybe on this point it would be a better idea to just go clear the lines, be safe, and get there slow and steady.
Yeah. I think that's exactly what Kurt has been doing all the time, and it worked well for him until he kind of reached his personal limit in terms of speed.
Yeah, and then of course one small mistake can just bring you all the way to the top.
Yeah,
and that's exactly what happened with him, unfortunately.
With Octavia, I see exactly what she's trying to do, but she relies very much on getting the right pieces, and that can, again, this is classic Tetris, right? In comparison to the more modern variants of Tetris, this one doesn't have any predictable RNG. There's some way to predict certain things, but I'm not even qualified to talk about those. But compared to modern Tetris, where you have a 7-back, for example, where after 7 pieces you will have received each piece 1 time. That doesn't exist here. Pieces are basically random. You can get 7 L pieces in a row, pretty much. So banking on getting a certain piece, only that one piece fitting in one gap is very risky in classic Tetris.
Yes, and while it can be very frustrating waiting for that one piece you need and not getting it, you have to be ready for that to happen as well as a classical Tetris player.
Which is usually why you don't plan for that one piece, but you usually give yourself options.
Yeah.
One strategy that we probably won't really see employed today is building a too-wide well. Like the well being the piece where the part of the board where the pieces drop in. Like in Kurt's case, for example, he's trying to open up his right well there. Octavia has a well in the 7th column at the moment. Well, there's not even a well right now. But basically you want that to be accommodating for several different pieces at the same time. So if you make it too wide, a lot more pieces fit in there than just the line piece. And that's what you want. You want those options. If the line piece doesn't come, you still want something to be able to fill in your gaps and clear down some lines. It doesn't always have to be a Tetris.
Definitely. Meanwhile, it's getting very exciting between the two runners because Octavia is on 55 lines and Kurt's clawing back with 48 lines right now.
Yeah.
With Octavia with a much cleaner playing board. So Kurt will have to do some work to get his clean again.
Fills in that hole right before the right piece came. That's classic Tetris.
Yeah.
You wait for a piece for the longest time, and then when it comes, you just filled something else in that gap. That's how it always goes. And now Kurt is in that same predicament that Octavia was in earlier, where he has those alternating holes in his board, where he can only clear one line at a time, which is very time-consuming, and you can't really stack down while doing that. You have to build very cleanly. Otherwise, you will just make it worse. He's getting the pieces right now, line by line. Opts to not fill that hole with the line piece, because that line piece would have been above one of those holes, and then you would have had to build down 4 lines separately, pretty much, while Octavia's having a very, very, very strange build here.
Yes, and that's where you can see how one misdrop can just give you a lot of problem.
Yeah, this is obviously not what she had planned to do. This is an accident. But she's handling it well.
Yes, she has some right pieces and she puts them on the places where they should be.
So in theory, what you want to do, you want to build up somewhat cleanly without too many holes, but your main objective here is to clear the top lines, so you have access to the holes in the middle of the stack to be able to build down. That's what she's trying to do here. But
that was a very unfortunate block piece there.
Yeah, that big hole there in the middle of the stack, that is probably going to be too much.
Good option not to go for the T-spin. Would have been something for the fans if he did.
So, but for Kurt, we're already at that speed again where he starts to be less comfortable.
Yeah,
just before the level 9 transition. Octavia has to start over again in the meantime, but this could even out very quickly again because Kurt is, he's rather high, and the transition to level 9 where he had so much trouble is coming again. 3 more lines and 2 more lines and we'll be there. This is going to be tricky for Kurt. Can he power through? He's getting good pieces for this kind of stack. 93. He's getting there.
Yes, just a couple of...
he misdrops the T piece. Oh, no. And it's over again.
And again, we are at the reset for both runners. No one...
So the strategy becomes clear. It's pretty much because I will assume that Octavia will run into the same level 9 speed trouble. The strategy has to be to just stay clean until the transition. Stay very low with your board.
Yes,
and then just survive.
Yeah, I'm sure if they have a good field and they get to level 9, they will be able to clear the 10 lines. They should be able to do that.
Yeah, at that
But
point
have to
they
get in that
probably
position.
want to go one by one, like just line by line.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's you have to, like, 100 lines is quite a few lines. You have to keep up your concentration in order to actually be clean when it matters in terms of your board health. And it looks like Octavia is playing much more conservatively now. She's immediately going for clearing, not getting the stack get too high.
Yes, he's not going for the Tetris anymore as he was in the first couple of tries.
Yeah, maybe it was an experiment. Maybe she thought, okay, maybe she can just like overwhelm Kurt by being more efficient.
Yeah, and don't forget they're both very new to this game, so
yep.
They still have to figure out what they're comfortable with and what speed can they play on a good level, and with what speed do they have to play very conservative.
Yep. And sometimes I think sometimes they also still have to get used to the controls. It doesn't always look super intuitive what they're doing, and sometimes you see them like flip the piece 3 times over instead of 1, which is one way to not get confused. To always flip it in the same direction. I think that's what Kurt is doing mostly. Obviously, the faster the game becomes, the less time you want to spend on flipping the pieces. You want to put them where they belong.
Both plays with a few unfortunate pieces, but they'll be able to get out of there surely.
So I have to ask our organization team, are we still? We're still up for best of 5, right? This could be a long evening. I hope you have nothing else planned.
Well, maybe once they get it, they'll be on a roll, and then they'll do it without any mistakes.
But yeah, both in very similar situations at the moment. Both are trying to not get the stack get too high, going for single line clears whenever they can. Very conservative. The problem can be if you do that too vigorously, if you focus too much on the one line clears, you can sometimes end up building up your stack one by one, so you're getting higher and higher. Because you're starting to clear lines where it's not optimal. I think that's what Kurt realized, and he's stacking down.
With some smart placement right there.
Yeah. Octavia is back to waiting for the line piece. Has to make a compromise here, yes. That's a good triple. Well, not even triple, a good double. But makes another hole in the process. That's always the big risk. If you go for those single line clears, you're always running the risk of blocking yourself from, or like creating a hole. Which happened to Octavia there.
Yeah.
And again, the dependency on Octavia's end, on the right there, we don't want to be that line dependent. Gets the line though. Misdropped L.
So he gets the line piece there though, so he might be able to survive this.
Am I ahead of you?
Yeah, by a couple of pieces, I think.
I'm gonna try to be a little bit slower then.
I'm not sure how I am for the viewers. Maybe I'm just very much behind.
We can make a line count. Kurt is at 60, Octavia at 48 for me.
They are both at that right now, yes.
Okay. Faster than you even. Faster than the chat. That's not good. Okay, I think I can fix that problem though. Give me 1 second.
Alright. Kurt's having a very nice field right now. Being on level 6. And looking very good. And unfortunately, Octavia has to start again, so she will have to hope that Kurt will walk into some more trouble, so she can catch up. And of course, when I say Kurt's looking very good, he has a lot of bad luck with the pieces he's getting. He's very high now.
Yeah, I am slowed down now.
Oh, that's a very nice line piece for him.
Yes. I think we are completely synced now.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, Kurt is getting the exact right pieces to stack down here. Very,
that's
very
a
lucky
great
pieces.
line piece. Yeah.
Yep. Like all of the other pieces before were exactly the ones he needed. That's sometimes how Tetris is.
And also he placed them on the places where they had to go. So
True.
that was some good play by him as well. Oh, and that's an unlucky spin.
Now Kurt is dependent on getting the Z piece there. Doesn't get it, has to fill it in with different pieces, and that's what I mean. Sometimes you just end up creating more and more holes in your stack, and that's too much there.
And Kurt has to start from 0 again.
Yeah, I suppose it's level 8 and not level 9, where Kurt is proposing racing to 90 lines. Yeah, you got this. Best of 5. We're gonna be here until you do this 5 more times. Imagine going into game 9.
It's best of 5, right? Not the first 2 5.
Yeah, maybe we will have to best of course, not best to 5.
So first 2
Sorry
will
for
win
the
the thing.
confusion.
That is very much alright.
I just like seeing things burn, so. Poor Adam is getting timed out by Nightbot. Keep it up, you have more stamina than Nightbot has.
And he's right back in it.
Okay, meanwhile, yeah.
Meanwhile, Kurt's
let's look at the game.
Nice again. Octavia, she has a little bit of gaps, but I think she'll be able to burn down from this. It doesn't look too bad yet.
But I think we're still seeing the same concept repeating on Octavia's end. She's trying to play clean and trying to go for or build for Tetrises, and the pieces are not coming. And then as soon as they're not coming, he runs into trouble by just not having the most accommodating playing field.
So she misses the possibility to open the welder there.
Yeah. Has another one. Yes,
yeah,
yes, that's the right one. And here, as soon as the line pieces come, her board is ready, but she's very vulnerable if they don't.
Definitely, and when you're doing 100 lines, you can't just expect to be there. The line piece is right on time every time. So
Yeah. So my recommendation here to Octavia is stack down now, before it gets too wild. Like, all the way to the ground. You don't want to build on top of those holes. It's not technically problematic, but it can just go out of control very quickly. Oh, she has the chance. Very ambitious. I see what she's doing there. She wants to clear the actual holes, even if they're not quite accessible yet. Actually, playing with quite a bit of foresight. This is all good piece placement here. Place piecement, as it's known in the Tetris community. But again, she's making herself very reliant on line pieces. There are 2 line dependencies in this stack at the moment.
And she does not want to burn down.
So what she could do with just that T piece, for example, she could open the right well, but doesn't see it. So now that right well will stay closed. It's double closed now.
Yeah, and this is a very difficult position to play from.
Yeah.
A lot of work to do.
And she's getting the wrong Z pieces. She's getting wrong S's, wrong Z's.
The Z's and not the S's.
Yeah.
I always confuse
always the wrong one. Same with L and J. It's just the right L and the wrong L.
Yes, exactly.
And Octavia has to start over again. What I want to see at this point is I want to see them going for those single line clears for as long as they can, which is also a real exercise in discipline and self-discipline, to not get lured into building for those very tasty Tetrises. But as you said it earlier, with the lack of some experience, it's just very tricky to go for those consistent Tetris builds. You have to be happy with what you can do.
Yeah, and as we've seen before, at this point they should really just go for the line clears and not worry about getting Tetrises or doubles or triples, because it doesn't matter if you're going to top out.
Yeah, this is clearly not a race to who is the fastest to get to 100 lines. This is a race to who can get to 100 lines.
Exactly.
And it's like, try it yourself at home. It's definitely not trivial at all. This is what you would expect from a race like this. From personal experience, I was what was I doing in that? So I've been in the Game Boy community for quite a while, and there is this Game Boy marathon annually called Tiny 10, and there was some Game Boy Tetris 100 lines runs with like 10 or 12 people competing. The winning strategy was to just play very, very conservatively. There were good Tetris players there that refused to build for Tetrises just for the sake of finishing in a somewhat acceptable time. Not a great time, but just get through. And that's gonna be the strategy here.
Yeah,
because the game will never play nice. Can't expect that from Tetris.
No, you cannot. Yeah. And of course, like if you've watched the classical Tetris scene in the last years, it really has evolved into playing much more aggressive. But that's what they do in the World Championships. You know, like the guys like Joseph and Doc playing Tetris. So yeah. I can imagine if Octavia and Kurt have been watching that, they think like, oh, that's how I should play. I should go for the right wells and try to burn as least as possible.
Yeah, I think that's definitely true for Octavia. I know she's been following some of the Tetris scene for a while, so maybe it's just very tempting to try to go for all of those things,
Yeah.
but you kind of forget that you have to be prepared for when it doesn't work out. That's the big art of playing Tetris well. Be prepared for all kinds of things.
Oh,
Wait,
and it
Curtis-
looks like
Curtis had one.
found it.
That went so quickly all of a sudden.
Well done by Kurt. Look at
Kurt
that.
did it. I was looking at Octavia's side and didn't even notice he was already that far in.
Yeah, that's the last levels went really quick. We did really well there, of course. And it's 1-0 to Kurt.
Yeah, Octavia can just top out or reset there.
Yeah. Well, it seems like they took a little bit over half an hour for to reach 100 lines. So maybe we'll see a PB for them in the next coming.
Yeah, we have a time to beat now.
Yeah. I'm not sure if they're gonna start right away or we're gonna have a little break.
Octavia seems to be right back, but maybe she's just practicing. So.
Since he wants to keep those hands warm.
Okay, that was exciting though. Kurt got to 100 lines, like almost 100 lines, like 3 times before actually being able to finish it out.
Yeah, the first time, I think both of us thought he was just going to do it first try, but then he got some trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And some other times he was a bit high when he got to the higher levels, and he had some problems there. But last time he did it great.
Yeah, when I was looking over, he again was a little bit high when reaching the faster part. So those things will just happen. I'm very curious to see whether Octavia will change her strategy from now on.
Yeah.
Because she kept running into the same kinds of patterns.
Yeah. It seems like they are going to do a best of 3. So if Kurt wins the next one, that would mean he would be the winner of the race.
Yes. And as I said, this is a race to the death, so if Kurt wins, he will take Octavia's head
Yes.
home with him,
sad.
put it on his wall. So Octavia better focus now.
Yeah. I wonder if
Octavia
he will
with
put the
head
text
is better than Octavia without head.
arguably, yes.
No decapitation. How do you get the head on your wall then? Like you have to make compromises, Queen.
Oh, and I've got some more information. It seems like they are sticking with 5. So there was some,
I mean, Kurt is warmed up. Octavia is warming up as we speak. Also
she is
trying
not
to
ready
keep
yet.
her head. I have time. It's Friday night.
Yeah, I have nothing to do tomorrow. So
Let's go. Best of 5 still on.
And the countdown is here. So let's do it all, chat. 3, 2, 1.
Tetris.
Texas. Oh, Tetris. Thank you, Queen, for being proactive.
Yeah, otherwise they wouldn't have known what to do. All right. Kurt is doing what is the safe bet here. He's not forcing any Tetris wells. He's kind of forced into it though. Double line dependency right off the bat for Kurt. While Octavia is working with a 2 wide well at the moment. That's nice.
Yeah.
If I were Octavia, I would do exactly that and just take the double.
Yeah, playing smart. Ooh, she does create a line dependency there, but it should still be fine.
It's fine. She can clear one line. It's one more line of safety for later.
Yeah.
She has the option to just transfer the well that she already has the left well. She can just like lock in and make it a left well for this first Tetris if she wants to go for it.
And she does a nice T-tuck there.
And with that, she's almost clean. And the
Yeah,
T
there
piece
she
there
is.
is perfect to make it perfectly clean. This has to be the strategy. Exactly like this.
I do
Kurt
agree.
didn't even try to play it any more riskily. He was just forced into just, yeah, building a little bit higher. The pieces to clear lines didn't come for him.
It looks like Kurt is up by a few lines, and I think that's due to him pressing down a bit more than Octavia is.
Yes. Kurt makes the decision rather quickly where he wants to place the piece and then presses down to make it fall into place. Oh, Octavia back to the Tetris well. If the line pieces come, that's very efficient. But again, it's risky.
Well, there's one. So she has some more breathing space.
Yeah.
Yeah. See,
Oh,
it's not to burn there.
she's risky, but in terms of efficiency, that's played well. Like if you go for score, that's exactly how you want to play.
Yes, he gets very much away with it.
But Octavia and the dependencies, they are not friends. Always puts herself in a worse place than she needs to be.
Yeah.
So my idea right here on Octavia's board is to just open up that hole on the left side with whatever piece is that is possible to do. Like with that piece exactly like that. Yes. And now she has that hole open. Now it's okay. Closing that is okay, but she has to keep in mind that that hole is there. And just work on, like pretty much building on top until the top is clean, and then you have access to the Tetris hole automatically. Good line piece.
Yeah,
exactly what I want to see there.
It's never a nice feeling when you drop a line piece and nothing burns down.
Yeah. So since Kurt has been pressing down much more than Octavia, much earlier, he has almost a 20-line lead. And he's somewhat clean. He's clearing the holes that he had in his stack.
Yeah, he is clean right now.
At half time, or half line count, I suppose. While Octavia is slowly but surely getting rid of the holes in the stack. It's always nice to have like something accommodating like all of the three zigzaggy pieces, the T, the S, and the Z piece.
Yeah, and something to put your O pieces if you get them.
Yeah. Generally, you usually don't want to have. You want to see O pieces too often.
Yeah.
They're very awkward.
Yeah, or the fat boys as they are called.
The Smash Boys, you mean?
Smash boys. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh no.
Yeah.
I screwed up my name. How could I?
Sorry. It's the fake meme. It's over. Okay, but we're getting into speed territory on Kurt's end. We saw level 9 is definitely where he's not comfortable anymore. Level 8 was tricky in some rounds. And we're getting close to level 7. And he is not at the bottom of his board. So we'll see how his strategy is here.
Yeah. Ooh, gets an eyepiece, but does not fill the well, but creates another one.
Yeah, I see some slight panic there on Kurt's side. Very line dependent at the moment. Well, not if he just creates another hole instead. Octavia has technically the better board because her holes are kind of nicely placed, and once she gets rid of them, well,
Yeah, but she does need 2 line pieces for that.
yeah,
And a bit more.
those alternating Z and S pieces didn't
those
help the
are
situation.
very unlucky.
Yes. And now the line piece comes, and it's not the right side at all. At that height, you just as an inexperienced player, you don't see the optimal solution.
Yeah, they're very hard to see right now.
Oh, lucky line! Oh no!
She got some piece, but I'm not sure it would have been enough anyway.
Yeah, maybe in terms of the entire race, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe if Kurt tops out, maybe that earlier restart helps Octavia. But let's not hope that Kurt does top out. Let's be nice here.
Almost going to level 9, so it will be very interesting to see how he holds up there.
Yeah, he is stacking down at the moment. He's getting lower and lower, exactly where he wants to be. Okay, that hole won't go away for a while. He has to get those 10 line clears on top of the holes. He won't be able to stack down to the very bottom again. But he's somewhat safe here. He's playing it well. Getting bad pieces though.
Well, that
but a lucky line.
Very nice then.
4 more. Some panic flips.
Only 2.
2 more. 1 piece. I think he's locked into that 1 piece in his head.
There it is. And he gets it.
There's the line.
That's his second game to Kurt.
2 games to none for Kurt. Octavia was kind of playing differently, and it worked out for the longest time. But at the very end, she got very unlucky pieces and kind of just overlooked some of the line clears that she could have gotten.
Yeah. And a huge PB for Kurt this time, from 32 minutes to 7 minutes to get to 100 minutes. Yeah,
it's very difficult to actually be ready when you're supposed to be ready. Like when like every Tetris player reaches that point at a different time in the game. Like you can deal with different kinds of speeds, and this speed might be still where someone who is very familiar with the game is still comfortable, but another person can't even properly react anymore.
Yeah.
And those different kinds of comfort zones are where it just becomes tricky. Like once you reach them, different for everyone, but once you reach them, your gameplay will just become very vulnerable. And speed in NES Tetris ramps up quite a bit. If you compare to Game Boy Tetris, for example, which generally is a little bit slower, this is just a whole different ball game. Yeah, everyone in chat also please take a sip. It's important to stay hydrated.
Stay moist, guys.
And some people need to be told, so sip now. While we prepare for the next round. Both runners are ready. Are we getting a 3-2-1 again?
All right. Let's start the countdown.
3, 2, 1. Ted Cruz.
Ted Cruz.
It's the same there that you said earlier, pretty much, right?
I'm sure. And it looks like Kurt is on the way. And there's Octavia as well.
Nice tuck for Kurt. When the pieces don't fit, you sometimes just have to build for those tucks. You create an overhang pretty much.
Yeah.
And just bank on getting a different kind of piece that didn't fit in the moment, but in the next one will have to fit. solid builds, solid starts for both of them. I really like seeing both of the boards down at the bottom there. It's way less stressful.
That's exactly where they should be. I think
And
at this point
sometimes, yeah, go ahead.
I think at these points they don't even have to go for a right well.
That's exactly what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
Perfect team commentary.
Yes.
I looked at Octavia's field and saw, yeah, exactly. Don't force the right well. Just build there in column 6. Perfectly fine.
Of course, the reason that the top Tetris players play for the right well is because the pieces, when they come into the playing field, they come slightly more to the right than to the left. So you wanna normally play with the right well, so you can get your pieces easier over there. But if you're just playing low, you should have no issues there anyway. So you can just.
It's actually they always come from the very center. It's about the rotation. Like if you look at the line piece, for example, it's 4 pieces, and it will rotate around one of those pieces. It doesn't rotate around the middle between the 2 middle pieces. So in that regard, NES Tetris favors the right side because you can flip the line piece over like a higher fence of blocks, which is different for different kinds of Tetris variants. Game Boy Tetris, for example, has the preference reversed. And Game Boy Tetris is generally more advantageous to use a left well for the very same reason, just reversed. There are also some more advanced techniques available to the players, which they are very, very likely not making use of. There's delayed auto shift, which is a technique where you can already hold the direction before the piece actually appears. And normally, if you hold the direction, correct me if I'm wrong on the numbers, but you have to hold it for 16 frames. No, after 16 frames is normally when the piece starts moving quickly while holding the direction. And you can buffer those frames when the piece is not even on screen yet. So when a line clear is happening, you can already hold the next direction. Because you see the preview box, you know what the next piece will be. So you can prepare and already hold that direction, and that will mean, if you do that with perfect timing, or close to perfect timing, that the piece will move quickly immediately. The strategy that most new players, or most players will remember from their childhood is just tapping the D-pad as quickly as they can.
Yeah, and if you tap quick enough, you can be much quicker than the dash. So that's what players have been using. But
yes, that's the new Tetris meta. Yeah. For years, it had been the dash meta. It wasn't really conceivable. If you exclude some individual players like Thor Ekelund, who was a very good hyper tapper, as they call it nowadays, even 10 years ago already. But not many people could do that and be more efficient than with dash. But I'm pretty sure I see a lot of tapping here.
Yeah, I think when you're starting, you
always tap. Yeah, I still tap. And I would consider myself somewhat experienced at this point. And I know I'm not tapping faster than I would be with dash. But that dash control is kind of tricky to do, actually. It's not trivial.
Yeah, you have to really put some practice in it and study what it means and when you have your dash charged, as it's called, and when it does. But I mean, as with everything, practice makes perfect. Meanwhile, Octavia has a really difficult position, as you need some good pieces.
She builds a high spire there.
Okay, so she puts a piece on the right, but she puts it to the left.
If she gets another line piece right. Oh, she did. Doesn't help her there.
No, and this is gonna
There
be
was a
another
very
reset.
theoretical way out there, but that was very hard to see and
Yeah.
very reliant on good luck.
Yeah.
So
He
Octavia
lost.
starts over again. Kurt is at a nice number of lines.
Yeah, and it's also a very nice board. And should he keep it low, this should be no problem for him.
Yeah, he gets the pieces he needs too. If he can stay low right here, if he is ready when the speed hits, this will be no problem finishing this out. I really like that. As soon as he sees only just one problem with a certain piece, he puts it somewhere where he doesn't have that problem. Good awareness right there.
Yeah, he really seemed to have learned from his mistakes in the first round. And
yeah,
for him it was easy going from down.
15 more lines for Kurt. Octavia she kind of has to try to play it fast now. She can't really bank on Kurt topping out.
Yeah.
But even then, this is Kurt's game to lose right here.
Definitely.
You can see as soon as the pieces get a little bit trickier to place, he hesitates. That's the one risk that still is very present here.
And he gets into the quickest speed for the race to 100 lines now. Of course, not the quickest speed of the game.
Yeah, one whole 2 line dependencies barely gets that line piece over, and just like that, yeah, a lot of more holes and dependencies.
He needs only 6 lines, so it will be doable from also this line, also from this line.
4 more. 4 more. Come on. Tricky pieces. 3 more. Getting higher and higher. One hole next to the other. Oh, this doesn't look good.
Oh,
the line piece helps, but not.
Yeah, he needs one, and he gets it.
Wow!
Wow, what a...
That was a nail biter. I actually thought he wouldn't be able to clear that out. That looked very difficult. Very, very well done.
Okay, that's game.
Keeping the cool. That is 3 games to none for Kurt.
He is the relatively faster guy.
And the new owner of... Oh, no, let's stop the decapitation. That was fun.
Yes, I had a lot of fun looking at those guys play this game. The game I love so much. And it's always great to see new players get into it.
Yeah. If you haven't played Tetris in a while, just try whatever platform you have available and just give it a try. It's always fun. Kurt once more. The first 5 that I mistakenly mentioned earlier.
Ah. All right, it seems like we're getting both of them for an interview quite soon. Hello, Octavia.
Hello.
So how was that?
Well, I've never cleared 100 lines before in my life, and I still haven't. So
really. For that, you did quite a good job.
I appreciate it.
Well, are still doing? Are you playing right now?
Yeah, I'm playing. I'm still playing.
Wow! Look at her.
Oh, and the Tetris! Boom! Tetris for Tevi.
I just got 2 Tetrises, casually, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't have to do it before. Just do it now to flex.
Yeah. Yeah, I had no idea what was going to happen. When Kurt said best of 5, I was like, I don't even think I'll finish one. And I was like, whatever. Maybe he said like, oh yeah, the longest I've seen is 15 minutes on the scoreboard. And I was like, oh, whatever. And then the first round took 32 minutes. And that was just pretty funny.
So what was your
Uh,
actual preparation for today?
I didn't
Was
prep at
there
all.
any?
I thought we weren't supposed to prep.
Ah,
I
I
thought it
mean,
was a no prep. So
it was relatively fast, so I guess that worked out in a way. I thought I know that you've been around like the bigger Tetris streams sometimes at least.
I've
What-
I accidentally watched the Neubauer one day and thought I understood Tetris, but it's seeing what moves somebody should do and doing them yourself. There's just so much information on the screen. Like
Yeah.
one thing that always put me in awe was looking at the like how people know, like frequently check what piece is coming up next. And that's just something that I didn't think I would ever be able to process. But during today, I was able to learn how to do that. And so that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's
Yeah,
amazing.
looking ahead
I'm sure you
is
saw a couple of times where I'm just like, no, 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 no. Change
we
that.
saw a
Change
couple
the
of no
pace.
times. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I'm about to top out. Yep. Ah, well, that was fun.
I think the big difference was that you.
Go on.
Oh, hello, Kurt. I can.
Hello, how's
hear
it going?
myself. Ah, there
Kurt, can you
are.
hear us?
Congratulations.
Can you hear us, Kurt?
I'm not sure.
Okay, I can't actually hear anybody, but I can apparently speak. So I just want to say thank you to the event organizers for putting this on. This was a blast. Thanks for Octavia for having this idea. It was a ton of fun, and I wouldn't hate doing it again. Maybe a prepped race if we could both practice a little bit or something. But anyway, since I can't actually hear the audio right now, I'm going to probably bow out from this interview. So just thank you again, and excellent event by the event organizers, and yeah, have a good one, everybody.
See you,
Thank you,
Kurt.
Kurt.
Thank you, Kurt. Yeah.
So yeah, we have to
Everyone
torture
follow
you a
Kurt's
bit
new
more,
record.
Octavia.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think the big difference was really that what you mentioned, like you had all of those ideas and things that you know how they should look, but doing them yourself is just a whole different ball game. So that's where things went wrong. I think you're very very ambitious with your builds, and
Yeah, I should have played lower. I should have at least learned how to do more burns, like clean burns. I learned probably halfway through how to do a clean burn. And I was like, okay, so these are the 2.5 pieces I could do it with. And so I was just kind of just learning the game and like putting like this concept of the game into practice.
And I think that was actually visible. Like the difference in terms of how you built was very, very visible between like the very first round where it was very chaotic. Like you had that huge line dependency at all times. Like
I
whenever
know
you
that was the biggest thing I kept saying was like every time I play something and I saw that like 2 or 3 deep gap, I'm like, I need one. There's only one piece that can fill this.
yeah.
And then that's where it all falls apart. So flattening out and just clearing lines is something I should do more if I start to see like 2 of those line little holes. But
or the big thing, I think the big thing, like the big eye opener, is getting used to a 2 wide well. If you can master the 2 wide well, everything else will fall right into place. Just not being dependent on that pesky line piece.
Yeah. And yeah, I didn't realize. I just got I've never played the NES myself. I've only played the Game Boy one. So I played it for like 10 minutes before stream. An issue with my emulator. I'll say that maybe 5 of the drops that I did. Sometimes my D-pad would send it one right, and I wasn't able to fill the left hole with something. That happened a couple times. But yeah, apparently have the statistics. So it was nice to see, like, oh yeah, I'm not really getting droughts. I'm just creating too many necessary spots for lines.
Yeah. I mean, we were saying during commentary, we wouldn't care too much about optimization today. It's really about just staying, just having,
Alive.
staying alive and having your board be accommodating for all kinds of pieces at the same time, which is
Yeah.
like the big art of playing Tetris, I suppose.
There was one section when the palette that's up right now, the mint green and lavender palette. Well, I say palette, but level, what is that? Level 5. There was one time I was on level 5 and I had this amazing slope building. Like it just kept, like I was just laying piece after piece in the slope, and then was able to, keep putting pieces down very cleanly. But that just happened out of the blue, and it was like all falling. Like all of the knowledge was coming together, and then of course I do one misdrop, and then I don't know how to recover. So learning to recover is probably a good next step too.
Yeah, but if the learning process is already visible within like this one race, you're probably in a good way if you want.
I think
Yeah,
for
I might.
someone, I think for someone who hasn't played NES Tetris before, it was very impressive because I remember when I started, like level 7 was pretty much unplayable. So you can be very proud in how you played.
Yeah, and it wasn't the speed; it was the wrong decision making. That really got me. There was a couple times where it was too fast up top, but it was more so just making the right decisions. But what I might do after this end is I might just continue my stream and try to clear 100 pieces.
Sounds like a good plan.
Yeah.
100
Yeah,
lines.
Finish
Too,
Tetris
so.
on a positive note. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't let it be your nightmare fuel.
Oh, I sleep pretty easily.
All right. After getting knocked out by Kurt, you mean?
Yeah, I know, right? I won't be up for days. Somebody call out of my work for me.
Yeah, but
Anyways.
we can see on Kurt's end he's also cheating in video games, so not sure what he's.
Well, did you have fun?
We had a lot of fun, I
Commentating?
think. Yes.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yes, it was very exciting, very fun to watch.
Wow.
If you watch it back, ignore anything containing your head on Kurt's wall.
Yeah. I don't know how to respond, so I just made noises.
Yeah, so I think we want to thank the organizers for this, of course, the Relatively Fast guys. Yeah, Ninja did a lot of work for that, so I want to shout out him as well.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Ninja _SRC, twitch.tv/ what I just said before that.
And there will be all kinds of different races of not necessarily the top runners of these games, but community organized things with all kinds of video games. Friends racing against each other, people who hate each other racing against each other. Everything.
That's everyone for me.
Will be here. Stop it. Yeah, if you want to see those things, drop the channel a follow to stay up to date.
MVD, I heard you might have had plans for appearing in Relatively Fast Guys.
Yeah, there should be a race pretty quick between my rival and myself, of course. I think I've seen him in chat, Jack, and we're gonna do a Super Mario Land 2 race. The rematch, of course, because the first one I don't want to talk about. And I just have a feeling that the second one I also don't want to talk about. But it's coming soon.
Yeah, Jack with the recent PB of 27:38. Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins, any percent glitchless.
Out for MVD's blood.
Yeah. MVD, what are you at? What's your PB?
2820 off the top of my head.
What's
So
your
no-
summon best though?
Ooh, let me open my last. I think I know that by heart. I can tell you my sum of best of Portal.
Once
Those
you get
are all
sub
numbers,
27,
though.
it's important. Yeah.
Just numbers. This is gonna be a race.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Anything can happen. All it takes is somebody missing a power up, and all of a sudden, boom, game over.
Yeah.
Well,
Of
mean,
course you
Suddenly
do,
you stand
Ninja.
in the castle and drop and fall. Like I remember the last set of races. There were lots of castle deaths.
I don't even think I could pull a 28 out right now. I haven't really played.
Yeah, I also think you wouldn't be able to.
Yeah, this is why I only have enemies, no friends. With that,
Yes. leave it to the runner to finish out the interview. Yeah, I hope everyone had fun. See you around for more relatively fast stuff on this channel. And thanks Octavia and Kurt for racing. Thanks MVD for the commentary.
And thank you, dear, for the commentary.
yeah, and thank you, Ninja, for dealing with all 4 of us and figuring all the tech out. That's a crazy part. But I'm gonna hop off. I'm gonna entertain my Twitch for a bit,
Huh?
and I'll
Have
see you
fun
later.
and go get that 100.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. Thank you so much.
Have a good night, everyone.
A good one.